Hi guys, it's Colette. I'm back with a very simple spell to do. Yes, I am holding an empty yogurt container, and that's part of the spell, as is some water and paper and pen or photograph. And I'm going to tell you how you freeze someone's influence, someone's negative influence on your life. Now remember, you're not freezing the person, you're freezing their influence, and because of that I have written the words to this spell so that you can't get that wrong. So I'll say them in a minute, and I'll also write them up in the description box. Because it's a very, very easy spell to do, and the intent can be quite strong behind it though. I mean, someone, if they've been bad mouthing you, or if they're bullying, even a child or whatever, anybody, or even any company, like, maybe a corporation that's having a negative effect on you, on your health through their negativity. This spell can be used for them as well. But remember that this spell will cause no harm, and it's always done with if it be for the greater good, and that way you know that, if it's not meant to be, it won't be. If the person's negativity is part of what you need to learn and have to deal with in life, then if that's part of your karmic flow, then the spell might not work. But I've used this on a few occasions when I've just needed a break from negativity coming from certain people or certain directions in my life, and it's worked very well. So what do you need? You need an empty plastic like yogurt pot, or you can do this with your little containers. You could use a freezer bag as well. That's equally well, as long as it won't let any water out of it. And you need just some water, and if you've got a photograph of the person or the logo of the organisation, you can use that. Remember, if you're using a photograph, it must only be the person that you want to remove the influence from your life. And if someone else is in the photo, they're part of this. So either use just one photo with just them in it, or make sure you cut round very carefully, because the photo will represent whoever is in the photo, and you only really ever want the one person, unless it's the whole family that's doing it, your next door neighbours or whatever, fair enough. If you don't have a photo, get a bit of paper and write the person's name on it, and if you've got a location, great. You could do the name of a company and their head office, and the really just the name. If you've got a date of birth, that's even better, but if you don't worry about it. The name is enough, because the universe works with what you're thinking, and the person, you can visualize them, or you can visualize the corporation. That's what they'll work with. This is part of the ritual of the intent, and it's very much that as long as you keep the parameters right, then you'll be fine. But do as much visualization as you can. So if you've not got a photo, and I actually like the writing aspect of this, because it's almost like as you're writing the person's name, you're visualising them, and you're putting that energy of, I don't need your influence in my life. This has to stop, even for a little while. And the beauty of this spell is it can be temporary. You can reverse it very easily. So person's name, and then fold paper. And you're going to pop it into the container, and then as you think of the person or the corporation or whoever whose influence you want to freeze on your life, pour the water in and cover the full amount, whether it's a photo or whatever. And You can put a little top over it, a bit of cling film or whatever, but you've now got the person's name enclosed in water, enclosed in a container, okay? And with the words I'm going to give you, you're going to take it to your freezer and put it in. Now, it might be worthwhile labelling it if you're going to leave it there for a while, because you don't really want to open this up or someone open it up and think it's a frozen yogurt and they'll say, oh, what's this? So anyway, you're going to put it in the freezer. Now, you're freezing the influence of the person or the influence of the commodity or whatever. You're not freezing the person, okay? And that's why the words are so important. So I'm going to give you them now. You can say this, a lot of people say the words, you know, when they're actually doing the spell, and that's great, but when you're pouring water and trying to get everything covered, it's sometimes better to do it and then do this right behind it. So it's, I intend no harm or malice, but your negative influence is now frozen in ice. No more your energy in my space, no more your negativity in my face. So be it, if for the greater good. Now, before you do it, obviously do your protection, say your prayers, make a wee offering. Remember, I always believe in offerings first, whether that's a wee offering of money or, you know, treating somebody to something or doing extra prayers or extra ritual. Give, and give whether you're going to receive or not. It's not like, I'm giving so this spell will work. That's not the way the deities work, or, you know, the universe works. You're giving just because you're giving, and you accept that if it's for the greater good, this spell will work. And if it's not, it won't, okay? But remember that we're constantly saying freezing the influence of the negativity from that person, and put it in the freezer. The spell will not start working until the until it's frozen, if that makes sense. And what you should see is that, you know, the person may still be doing their stuff or, you know, bad mouthing you, whatever, but it's just not going to affect you. The influence will be frozen in some way that it's there, you know. Or you'll find that they just go quiet or they stop the bullying or whatever. So it's good for that. If you've gone maybe a few weeks or months and you feel that you've had a break and, you know, that's fine, and maybe you want to make progress in actually fighting this influence, not physically, not fisticuffs, but say you've had a breather and you're thinking, right, now's the time for me to talk to this person and say, this isn't happening, get your negativity away from me, blah, 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 then you need to have their influence not frozen for that, if you see what I mean. You have to be able to be back to this sort of playing field you were before. So that's why this is such a good spell, because if you think, right, okay, say you were really, really overwhelmed by the negativity or whatever, you did this spell and then it was like, okay, I've got my strength back, but I know I have to address this big issue with this person, blah, blah, blah. Then you simply take the container out of the freezer and let it defrost. And by the time it's defrosted, the energy and the intent will start dissipating, and you will be able to then address what you need to address, and that's it. And it's not a harmful spell in any way. You know, I don't do them like that anyway, but this is one that, you know, I've felt okay about doing if there's been really a lot of negativity coming from, you know, this could be, I'm not saying I've done it, but this could be used against an ex, it could be used against a bully, it could be used against someone that's trying to do in your reputation. Whatever you feel is coming in as a negative influence, this will freeze it, but it will not harm the person in any way. It will just freeze their influence, and then you can keep the influence frozen if you like. But I normally find at one point I'll remember, or I'll just feel that the time's right to address the bigger picture, knowing that I've been rested and I've not been affected by it. And that's it, really. If once everything's disposed of, once everything's melted down and whatever, I always think it's good to maybe just bury stuff or shred it or burn it, and that way, there's nothing left of that sort of the things that you've done the spell in. But to be honest, the main thing is that as the ice defrost around the person's name, then you go back to the way it was before you froze their influence. And always remember, so be it, if it's for the greater good, and do this to the universe or a deity that is there to help you, whatever your deity may be. And just know that it's a very straightforward spell that works, because maybe it is straightforward and there's no negative karma. What comes from it, it's just you freezing the influence, and that's it. So let me know if you try it and how you felt about it, and give me a thumbs up if you like the spell videos, because they're all kind of stuff I've kind of made up myself as I go along, with things that are handy. They're practical magic. My magic is kind of practical, almost kitchen magic with the shamanic stuff on top. But I believe that if there's something you have to do magically, you probably will have the tools to do it. And if that is as simple as a plastic yogurt pot empty, some paper and some water, and a freezer shelf, done, sorted. So let me know what you think, and I'll maybe do some more spells. If you've any suggestions, let me know. There might be ones that I've done in the past that I can just reiterate to you, or there might be ones that I think might have a wee go at that and have a think of how to do it. So let me know if there's other spells that you would like, and put it in the comments below. Many blessings now. Bye.